y'all ever been in love with somebody so much that all you want to see is them do good and see them do better, but unfortunately, they're just not in a place of accepting that and being that person? What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. So unfortunately, your girl been going through some things in the last month and a half. And at this point, I'm tired of being played with on the internet. Like, why you playing with me though? Now, y'all know me. Y'all seen my platform. I have grown my platform. I have grown just overall as a woman, as a mother. And I don't even get on any type of social media on no beef type stuff. I never do. Number one, I ain't right in the head. Number two, I'm a mom. So I have decided, like, that fast life stuff that I used to do, I got to gaslight that. I got to change that, pump the brakes on that, because at the end of the day, I have little people that are looking up to me. And more importantly, my daughter, I've asked for her for years. I've talked about having a little girl for years. So for me, I have to be the best that I can be. But before she gets here, I just got to let y'all in on something, because this girl got me really messed up. And what's crazy is you're steady coming for me and bothering me on social media, knowing doggone well, number one, my Facebook and my Instagram is deactivated. It's been deactivated for some time now. But then number two, I'm 8 months pregnant. So what does that really say about you? But it gets better. It's a whole lot to say about her, but we gonna get there. And I'm gonna keep it totally 100. At the end of the day, she's not the total blame, because you're only going to do what you're allowed to do. So as long as he's sitting there gaslighting you, letting you think that that's okay, that's exactly what you're going to do. But when you're young and dumb, you take it to a whole nother level. So unfortunately, my daughter's father, my ex, I don't even know what to call him at this point. I guess we broke up, or whatever the case may be, has been living a double life since March. And it's kind of mind-boggling. And I'm not going to lie, my feelings was hurt, y'all. Not to say that they're not hurt still, but at the end of the day, as a mother, I have a job to do. So yes, I'm in my feelings. Yes, I'm hurt. But at the end of the day, that was a choice. And I just don't understand why, if you made your choice, number one, why is your girlfriend so intimidated, or a side bitch? She could never be a girlfriend, so we'll start there. Why is the side bitch coming for me? Number one, as your child's mother. Number two, and I ain't said nothing to this girl, you're intimidated by me for what? You're constantly making stories on Instagram and Facebook. For what? You don't want this man to come to no doctor's appointments. You don't want this man to be around me for a split second. Why? I don't understand if you're so secure in y'all relationship. But you want to know why? It's because you was the side girl. And the same way you get your man is the same way you lose him. So since everybody wanted to play with Maya, and she wanted to keep putting all this stuff on the internet, and oh, I got the man, and he's mine forever, and all of this nonsense. Fine, sweetie. If that's what you think, if that's what you're feeling, by all means, pop your shit, do your thing. But now, I'm finna tell everything. So welcome to Pregnant by a Man, Living a Double Life. And yes, the man is my baby daddy. Now, let me just give a quick disclaimer, because before y'all get in my comments like, oh, this sound like some bitter stuff and blah, 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 blah. Never have I been bitter. It's always been the problem with the man. I've never addressed this young lady at all, because, again, the problem is with the man. However, the intimidation has never been about no female, especially a female that is nowhere near on my level. And when I say nowhere near, y'all, nowhere near, like not even an inkling. So let's be clear before we even get into all of that, because I promise you, you say something stupid in my comments, I'm definitely clapping back, because this is not even one of them situations. But I'm definitely going to drop the tea, since everybody wants to know and you want to put it out there and you want so much clout. Let's go. Part 1 of Pregnant by a Man, Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's get right into it. We're going to start from the beginning. So I met him on the 4th of July. I went to a little house event with one of my coworkers, who I ended up finding out was more like family. But that's neither here nor there. So he invited myself and one of my good friends. We went over and we enjoy, some cars, some drinking. We enjoying ourselves. It's Cinco de Mayo. Y'all know how black people is on Cinco de Mayo. We feel like, this our holiday. Y'all know. So everybody is just kind of enjoying themselves. Everybody's vibing. Now, when we pulled up, me and my friend, I did see him on the porch. I was like, okay, he's handsome, but I wasn't like scoping no scene out, like looking for nobody. But I did see him on the porch. So went in, everybody's playing cards, they're drinking. So he comes up to me and he's like, hey, you want to be my partner? So I'm like, sure, okay, whatever. He was like, okay, now when we get on this table, we not going to lose. We not getting up. So I'm like, okay, I like the sound of that. I'm competitive. I'm a Virgo. So again, not knowing anything about him, we get on the table. Y'all, when I tell y'all we kicked ass on that table, we was kicking ass on that table. It's something about them fellas that go to jail, baby. When they get the shuffling and doing whatever they do with them cards, baby, I'm trying to tell you, we did not get off the table. We literally won every game. Everybody that sat down, we was getting their ass up. What they say, next. So, night goes well. Everybody, is kicking it. We saying our goodbyes. So, he walks me to the car. He gives me his phone number. I did not text him immediately. I told him my name, text him my name, and that was it. He texted me maybe, I think, that evening or the next day. I didn't respond. And I think he might have texted me one other time, but he didn't sweat me or nothing. Like, it was literally maybe 1 or 2 times. And then he was just like, okay, maybe she ain't interested. Maybe this girl don't like me. So I worked with his brother. So his brother's like, man, my brother said he don't think you like him or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not it. For me, I had some decisions that I had to make because I still had other things going on. So fast forward, I finally do text him. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I am a brat. I'm spoiled, and I will be the first to admit that. I'm one of them women that, like, I want what I want when I want it, if that makes sense. Like, so when I text him, essentially, his brother had a date with someone else. And so I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to have a date too. So I don't know what his situation was. We didn't really discuss it. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm finna text him and see, what he's doing. So he ended up coming outside. We end up all going on a date. And it was good. Like, when I say the date was really, really good, we went bowling. We had drinks. And when I say, y'all, he was a super gentleman, like a super gentleman. He was holding on my doors, holding my hand, making sure, like I was, tripping on nothing, stepping over nothing. And we went bowling. So he was literally getting my bowling ball for me, bringing it to me, or helping me with my ball, because y'all see my hands, they little as fuck. But he was literally the perfect gentleman. So I'm like, okay, I like him. He has a sweet, sweet personality. Even as we was talking, even when, like we were interacting with one another, it was never like seclusive. It was all real intimate. So I was like, okay, it's flowing. I'm liking this, and this was a date that I was like, oh, this is a nice date. You have them dates and you like, I'm contemplating on this. Okay, you did your thing. So we are done bowling. We done drinking. We just walking towards the car. Now everybody kind of drove me. I have a truck. So we're walking towards the car. He and I are just talking, kind of just getting to know each other. And he flat out asked me, like, what do you have going on? And I was honest, y'all. I let him know. I said, look, I'm still legally married. I'm in the middle of a divorce. I'm in the middle of a divorce of, it's kind of nasty. I'm not even going to say it's nasty. It's just one of them things where when people, it was too much going on. So I let you know from the jump, yes, I'm still legally married. I'm going through a divorce, but we are separated. We've been separated, I'm not planning on going back to him. He seems like he's dating. So at this point, I did put it out there. I also let him know that I was talking to a truck driver. Now, I was talking to this gentleman, but we were not being intimate. He would come to my house in between him, like driving to different stops. But the reason me and him are not talking is literally because he didn't have time for me. So again, I put those things on the forefront. I definitely let them be known. I did not hide them. So, he begins to tell me, I don't have anything going on. I'm single, so on and so forth. He was like, I'm getting out of this situation. I still have stuff at this young lady's house or whatever, but I just want to get my stuff and not been staying with my brother. I'm over here trying to get my things together. Totally understandable. I don't have no heaven or hell to put nobody in. So who am I to judge on your situation when I clearly have things going on? So I was cool. I didn't have no issue with whatever situation he had. I didn't ask about it because, again, I'm not that woman. Like, if I'm going to deal with you, I'm going to deal with you. So whatever you got going on, if you got it under control, I'm going to get mine under control, and we're not going to bring that type of drama to one another. So we move forward and we start to date. Like, we are starting to really date. Like, we're seeing each other on the regular. We're talking to each other on the regular. And we used to do this thing where I had an idea. I'm like, look, I feel like I didn't do things necessarily right in my last relationships as far as getting to know the person. So I want to really get to know you and know your likes, your dislikes, what turns you on, what don't turn you on, what you like to eat, what you don't like to eat. You're always going to learn your spouse. And my grandmother told me that a long time ago. She was like, girl, you're going to forever be learning your spouse. So it's always good to continue to ask questions. People change. So we did this thing where when we were separated, we would ask each other 5 questions. So I would ask him 5 questions. He would answer them. I would answer them. Then he would give me get a chance to ask me 5 questions. I would answer them. And when I say it was nothing off limits, y'all, it was nothing off limits. But what I will say, I do think that made us very, very close and really knowing about each other. Because we learned so much just in a day. And asking those questions, you figure you ask a person 20 questions in a day, that's 40 questions total. That's a lot. You learn a lot, especially if you being honest and transparent. I know I was. I'll say that. So things are going good. We're communicating. We're really talking, getting to know each other. And again, he has been to prison. So he has a lot, of stories. And when I say stories, just a lot of things that has happened to him. And, jail is not easy for anybody. So I'm just looking at it as you did your time, you made it out, and you made it out alive. There's a lot of people that don't make it out alive. It's a lot of people who go through jail and don't make it there, let alone alive, out, and, getting a second chance at life. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it from no negative place at all. So I am familiar with some of the justice system, but I'm not familiar with everything. So he's explaining to me that he's on parole and, he has to do these mandatory classes. I want to say it was substance abuse. It was counseling and some more stuff. So in my head, I'm like, I don't want to see him, not get that stuff done. He's adamant about, changing his life and doing these things the right way. So I tell him, my car is sitting when I'm at work. You're more than welcome to use my car so that you can go and do it. And get whatever it is that you need to get done. So he's like, for real, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't mind, again, my car is sitting when I'm at work. So at the end of the day, I call myself being helpful. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Just don't have me waiting on my car. When I get off work, I expect you to be here. Other than that, we don't have no problems. I'll, come in the morning when I'm done dropping my boys off. I could just come to you. You swing me to work and you going on about your business. So that was literally my whole intention with this man, to literally be nothing but of service, of help, of love. When I love hard. And when I see, somebody trying, that was what attracted me most to him, is he want to do right. He really do. Okay, so one thing I'm not going to do is entertain stuff like this. Is this a true story or something you made up? What do you mean if I made it up? I'm sitting here pregnant right now with this man's child. What are we talking about? Made it up? Go through my TikTok, boo. The man been on my account my whole pregnancy up until this last month. So what are we talking about? Made it up? Because a date? Let's be clear. I did make a mistake on the date in the beginning when I rewatched the video. After I posted, I was like, oh shit, I did say the 4th of July. Made that mistake. It was not the 4th of July. It was Cinco de Mayo. I met this man in May. Calm down, pump your brakes, little Jasmine. Don't play with me on this app. Everybody else who is asking if it's July 4th or May 5th, my apologies. The date is May 5th. I met the man on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. Part 2 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's get right into part 2. So he go ahead, he take care of everything he have to take care of. And at this point, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm feeling him. I'm feeling like he's feeling me. I feel like, we got this thing going on. So at this point, he's kind of like dropping me off at work. I'm coming to see him before work. And, it's the beginning. It's that puppy love. It's like, oh, I missed you. I missed you from yesterday. So, I'm going to go see him before work. And, we just kind of talking and casually like, really like enjoying each other's company, even though like it's before work, even during my lunch, he's like kind of coming up there on my lunchtime. And then, after work, I'm seeing him for a little while. And then, I'm getting my kids together or whatever. And, like we're actually enjoying one another, like enjoying each other's time. So I'm really like, okay, I really like this man. So things are going good. We moving forward. So fast forward, we become intimate. And so I'm like, okay, sex is good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So we just intimate, we're kind of like, now you really like are into it. But again, there's no relationship title. We're just dating, so yes, I did let me see what it's like, before. I did. And I wanted to see what it was like. And it was everything I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So now that we have gotten that out the way, we loving on, each other in that way. And so one morning, we get up or whatever, and he brings something up to me that he saw in my phone. So immediately I'm like, why did you go through my phone? But at the same time, I'm like, if I really want this thing to work with him and I'm saying I'm, serious, I did kind of feel a little way like, damn, okay, like he went through my phone. I wouldn't have picked up his phone. But at the same time, I'm a Virgo. He's a Virgo. So I know how Virgos get down. They need clarity. So in a way, like, it was like, you care that much? You going through my phone? But at the same time, I'm like, you went through my phone. You know what I'm saying? So we have a discussion about it. I was kind of pondering on it. I felt a little bad. And then, me and him kind of talked through it. And he was like, I just brought it up because I was trying to see, but at the end of the day, I'm not tripping about it. I'm going to leave it alone. What was done was done. And so immediately with that person, I just cut ties. I'm just like, if I really like this dude and I want him to take me serious, I got to do some things to make sure I take him serious too. So yes, I went ahead and cut ties with dude. I just was like, this is not what it is or whatever no more. And I let it go and I let that be that. So now fast forward, we go to a couple of family events together. We then went on this all white boat party, and we dressed alike. I'm like, oh, babe, come on, let's go get you something nice. We went, I think, to H&M and just grabbed him like a nice little graphic tee that was white, some pants. White is really not good with me, and so they was not like white. But we went ahead and got, excuse me, some stuff for him. And, we was ready. Like, we went to the party and it was amazing. Like, I had a great night. We saw the fireworks. We took pictures, just videos. It was just so much. I was just like, oh my goodness. And when I say y'all, he took care of me the whole night. I had my flats. He held my flats the whole time. When it was time to change my heels from in my heels to my flats, he was just there, like from taking me to the bathroom, just making sure he was there. And that's something that I've never experienced in a man, So for me, I was all about time and genuine love in this relationship. When I came into this, that was all it was. You can hustle and get money with anybody. You can, be that financial person to people if you have that financial literacy and discipline. But genuine love and purity and somebody that genuinely cares and wants to see you grow not only physically but emotionally, financially, at all levels, you don't find that. And that's what I was willing to give. So when I was willing to give it, of course, that's what I was expecting back. Especially from somebody that's the same sign as me. Like, this is why I'm so disappointed. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. So moving forward, we're continuing to be intimate. We still, doing everything that we've been doing, seeing each other, texting, talking. And so me and him have a conversation. And I'm an early bird. So he was getting up early with me all the time, y'all. I was waking him up super early. And we had a conversation. He was like, I want to kind of see you more. Like, I want to see you on a regular. I don't like us kind of separating. And I'm not going to lie. Like, when you fall in love with somebody or you feel like this is your person, you do feel like that. Like, you don't want to be apart from them that long. Like, you go through that phase. And so I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. And so at this point, it's early June. And I'm like, okay, by my birthday, which is August 30th, if, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you have things together that, we've talked about, then yes, me and you can talk about us possibly, having a more serious situation where maybe we are staying together or you're spending the night or, with me or things like that. But right now, let's just kind of work on this. So again, he is like blowing me away, y'all, when I say loving on me, just making me feel super, super special. Making sure that I'm just super, super secured in what we have going on. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I think I want to break this whole like agreement for my birthday because I'm like, I don't want to wait. Like, I kind of want him here with me. I want him, I want him, you start to really crave this person. And that's kind of where I was. I was like, oh, I don't want to be without him. I'm loving how I'm feeling. I'm loving how he's feeling. All of this is like a dream come true for me. I feel like, okay, God, I might have found my person. Like, you did your thing with this one. Thank you. Type of thing. So y'all know I broke it. I broke it, y'all. I broke it. I don't regret that I broke it, but I definitely broke it. And I felt so good about it. Like, I was just like, okay, finally. So I had a conversation with my boys before, he came. Now, the one thing I will say that was my mistake, what I should have done is made sure that the guy that I was talking to, who was the truck driver, had come and got all his stuff. Even though it was like little stuff and it was in the garage, it wasn't like in the household. He had to get the stuff from the garage when he did come get it. But what I should have done is when I knew that I was going to allow him to come stay, here with us, that I made sure he got that stuff out. So that was on me. But again, I made it known that, that situation was there. But neither here nor there. I'm a woman before I'm anything. I should have done that. So my kids are like, yeah, Ma, if you like him and you really feel like he's cool, I'm telling them about him. And my oldest son is like, Ma, you like him, you smiling. And, my oldest son, he think he my nigga. He think he my boy. However, they were excited. They like, do he play the game? Do he do this? And I'm like, yeah, he played the game, So now they have something to look forward to as well. So he comes. But again, there is no title, y'all. There's still no title. We're still just dating. It's no title. However, we have a conversation in the bed. We talking. And we have good conversation. Great conversation. And we're talking in the bed. And he was like, yeah, you my girl. And I was like, nah, I'm not. I said I made that mistake before of just allowing a relationship to just flow into something and it just be what it's going to be. You're going to ask me. And he sat right there in that bed and looked up and asked me, like, would you be my girlfriend? And y'all know I said yeah. So at this point, we are in a relationship. He and I are a thing. It is Maya. It is him. We are in a relationship. That is my man. I am loving every bit of it. We got an anniversary, and now it's like, oh my goodness, I'm back in a relationship and I'm feeling like, okay, I got it right this time. Like, he's my twin. Like, we locked in. This my boy, because literally, like, he finishing my sentences. I'm finishing his sentences before I could really get something out. He already, kind of answering it. We was here, y'all. We was here. Part 3 of Pregnant by a Man, Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, and we are back with part 3. So at this point, y'all, I am like overjoyed. I am just loving life. This is my man. I done broke this, little commitment that we had. So now we are like together. He's here with me pretty much every day at home. I'm waking up to him. I'm going to bed to him. And again, we are just really locked in. When I say like this my boy, we enjoying, we going on dates. And if you want to reference these dates, you could go on my YouTube, The Maya Dominique. I have literally about 2 or 3 dates on there that I vlogged with him. We did picnics. We were out, just enjoying one another. It's now the summer and all the holidays are coming up. So like we are really having a good time. We are vibing. We doing things. He's doing his all the stuff he needs to do for parole to try to make sure he's done with parole. And then I was slowly transitioning into being a full-blown content creator. I was pretty much at my last weeks of work because I was no longer working at that job come July 1st. This is what I mean when I say I was happy, y'all. Like, me and this man were locked in the whole summer. We were enjoying one another. This is something that I had never done, actually dating. Like, we would go on dates just about every weekend. He would choose one, I would choose one, and ain't no use to hiding his face because he's my child's father, number one. So when y'all see my daughter, y'all gonna see his whole face. And number two, he been over my TikTok, well, on my TikTok, I should say, most of my pregnancy. So y'all know who he is. This was my baby. We was happy. So we kicking it all summer. We just enjoying one another. We are dating. We are really enjoying ourselves. My kids are loving him be here. Like, it is feeling like a dream come true, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I was just like, oh my goodness. Thank you. Like, I was really, really happy. So again, I'm very honest, very transparent. However, I did mess up. And when I say I messed up, I call myself trying to handle it a different way, knowing how my ex was, and it backfired. It did not go, like, he took it to a whole nother level. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. So me and my daughter's father, we are at the club one day. It's me, it's 2 of my friends, his brother, and we're all at the club, and I happen to see my ex's sister. And so I'm like, okay, so I automatically knew. Now, me and him have been kind of cordial. I had kind of been able to keep him on like a straight and narrow, like, okay, we cordial, we in this place. And the sister immediately texts him like, oh, she's in the club with him. So as I'm leaving, I'm already knowing that the sister texts him. But I spoke to the sister. She didn't say anything to me. Strike one on some, straight messy shit. So again, the sister goes and says something to him. And of course, by the time he and I get home, I'm getting a phone call, a FaceTime at like 1:32 in the morning. I'm kind of like drunk and falling asleep. He's still up. He sees that the call is from my ex and he's going off. Rightfully so. He has the rights to be upset. I'm not saying that he didn't. So from that day forward, it was what it was. All bets was off. I was just willing to give up whatever because I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to hurt nobody. I've been in a situation of being hurt and I don't want to be on that other side. I don't want to be the person inflicting pain on somebody. So I just refuse to do it. And again, I'm pretty well off and well established. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, whatever I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose. If it's the other car, I'm going to lose the other car. I'm not going to lose my house, and I'm not going to lose no sleep over nobody who, again, I'm separated from. It is what it is. You're happy with your situation. I'm happy with my situation. We ain't even finna do this. So I apologized to him. I let him know, like, babe, I thought I had it handled and I did not handle it the right way. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to hurt you or be, manipulative in any of this. Cut him right off. Like nothing. Like no comment or nothing. Nothing, y'all. Nothing. He just was curtains at that point. So fast forward to August, my birthday comes, and I'm just like, oh, I'm excited or whatever. My sister took me out pretty much the whole day while he handled other stuff that he was trying to do for me. Y'all, he gave me this beautiful bouquet, like money bouquet for my birthday. We end up going to dinner. We all was drunk and just really enjoying ourselves. When I say we had a ball, he was so supportive of like all my content. He's helping me with my content. My birthday vlog is just, you could see even in my birthday vlog that I was super, super comfortable and just loving on the fact that he was loving on me. We was loving on each other. It was so, so good. I was so happy, even though this wasn't a year for my birthday that I felt like I did everything I wanted to do. But because I was secured in this relationship and felt like, you know what, if I didn't have anything, I had somebody that loved me in my corner outside of my family, that was good for me. When you are a person that come from getting treated like shit from people, and just you're always the person that's giving and always the person that's refilling somebody else's cup, it felt good to have somebody that was pouring into mine. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Now, I told y'all we both Virgos. So my birthday is in August. So my birthday just passed. And in 2 weeks is his birthday. So for his birthday, I was like, I want to do something really, really special. He's turning 31. I want to do something special because he was in jail for his 30th. So let me try to think. So I immediately get to texting his brother like, hey, I want to do this for him, da, 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 so on and so forth. His brother like, yeah, let's do it. So his brother is literally helping me with everything. And when I say everything, y'all, everything, like getting down to the guest list, his, like the colors, the theme, all of this. So everybody knows I'm an influencer for Amazon. So I end up getting a bunch of like nice blue happy birthday stuff. I made a vlog. Y'all can feel free to go watch that too. And I decorated my whole basement. And when I say y'all, I snapped. Like I went above and beyond. I cooked and everything. And I literally laid it out for him like his favorite foods and all. Again, this was a surprise. So he knew nothing about none of this. He woke up on his birthday morning, had a tray full of just fruit and red velvet pancakes. Like, I did it big for him because I felt like he missed his 30th. So let me show up and show out for him because this my man. Like, that's how I'm thinking. I swear, I was just on cloud nine for this man. I ain't gonna lie. Part 4 of Pregnant by a Man, Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, and we are back with part 4. So his birthday has passed. He really enjoyed his birthday. His family and friends, all came out. It was a great day. He and I had a conversation, after his birthday. He's like, man, nobody ever did that for me. Kind of just, like, thank you for like really supporting me and being just a support to me. And again, that's the type of person I am. I'm not going to change my heart because there are people out here in the world that are just ignorant or looking for other things. My heart is pure and is genuine. And no matter how I got done in the situation, my heart was still going to be the same. So I do this thing on my birthday or around my birthday where I go ahead and write all my goals for the year. I don't wait till New Year's to do it. I do mine around my birthday because I feel like every new year and every new chapter of my life is when I need to ensure that I'm hitting the goals, hitting the targets that I need to hit. So that's what I do. So he went in my office one day and was like, hey, I really like your vision boards. I want to do those. I want to do one of those. So I'm like, yeah, we could do it. I'm like, but maybe we could sit down, within the next couple of days and just kind of get goals out, so you can see it and physically, like, no, okay, this is what I want to get done. This is what I want to do. So I say maybe a week goes past and he's like, hey, let's go ahead and do it. So we write the goals out. We write goals for 2023. We write 5-year goals and 10-year goals. He has some amazing goals. And what I will say is, although he was incarcerated and although, he did make some choices that affected him throughout his life, what I will say is that he's super intelligent, super, super smart. Now, that's one thing I'm not going to discredit. Making dumb decisions, yes. But the man is super smart. And when I say super smart, like got an education in jail, went ahead and got certificates, and he could very well be using them. But because he has this background, a lot of times, at least felons will allow that to like be in their forefront. So then it does kind of hinder them in life, on getting good jobs or, being a better person, because then it's like everybody's looking at your past. And I get that too. I don't judge nobody and I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say. At the end of the day, whether he came from jail or not, I was still open to loving him through, because everybody can change and everybody makes mistakes. I don't have no heaven and hell to put nobody in. And one of my closest brothers, God rest his soul, had felony charges on his background. He was a felon, and he was one of the smartest men I know. And can't nobody in this world make me not love him, make me not appreciate him, make me not support him just because he went to jail. Like, you can't make me do that. So who the fuck am I to say something because he went to jail? I done made dumbass decisions too. So get the fuck up out of here with that shit. But like I said, nonetheless, so we sit down, we do 5-year goals, we do 10-year goals. And one of the goals for me, because I'm getting older, yes, I'm 28, and y'all can say what y'all want to say. 28 is not old. But for a woman with medical issues carrying a baby, 28 is older to be having a child. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you got to wait till you married to have a kid. That's not me, because at the end of the day, people get married, have kids, and still separate. So at the end of the day, if you love somebody, if your heart is in the right place, you doing things the right way, and you doing things genuinely because you love a person, guess what? That's how you're going to act. And that's me. I was loving on this man. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if it was too soon. I don't give a fuck. I was loving this man and loving everything about it. And he was giving me that same thing in return. It, like, no questions asked. I got the proof. We were in a relationship. So I did explain to him. I said, look, I am getting older. I have some medical issues that, could hinder me from, carrying a baby the right way. And when I say the right way, without all of the challenges and the high risk factors. So for me, I'm like, I do want a baby. I do want to try to have one more kid before it's all over. And I really do want a daughter. Like, anybody that knows me, I've been wanting a daughter for forever. I felt in my heart that somewhere, somehow, I was meant to be a girl mom. And I was like, I want to have a baby. And so he was in agreement, was like, yeah, I do want to have another baby. I only have my one. And I haven't been the best to her, based off of my history. I haven't been the best to her. So I wanted to make sure that I did things the right way this time. I do want a second chance at being a father and being around throughout the whole process. His words, not mine. I have no reason to make it up. Baby, I have a podcast, Memoirs and Some, the podcast. Feel free to go check it out. It is on YouTube. He and I made a whole episode. And he described his own feelings. This not me forcing shit on nobody. This was him. He asked for this little girl just like I asked for this little girl. So fast forward, we have gone ahead and made our goals. We kind of setting our goals. Now we got a plan, what we're going to do, how he going to do things. So now he has a job. He's going to his job every day. I'm really, really proud of him and what he's doing. I'm like, yes, he done got him a job. And it's a little decent job too. Like, we're not talking about like no little twos and fruits. He's making a nice amount of money and he's learning at this job. So I'm all for growth. He's learning at this job and he's really enjoying like being able to get up, go do what he got to do, so on and so forth. So around maybe the end of October, I tell him like, man, I've been wanting these chips and I've been on the Vintners salt and sour, the hot ones. I was on them, y'all, like bad for like, I'll say like a week. Now it's the end of October, so it's right before Halloween. And I'm just like, man, I've never ate these chips like that. Like, it's no way I'll just want these chips like that all the time. Now, he is coming from his brother's house, and I'm at home with the boys. I was doing something with the boys, I think helping with a project or something. And he was like, you want to go with me or you know? I was like, nah, go ahead. I don't really want to go. I'm finished doing what I got to do. But could you bring me some Chipotle back? So he like, yeah, I'm going to go to the one in Oak Park that's closest to the house. So he gets there and he FaceTimes me and like, babe, they don't have this, they don't have that. It was just a few things that I usually get in my Chipotle bowl that they didn't have. So I'm like, okay. And I immediately like got sad and started crying like out of nowhere. So at this point, I'm like, okay, something's not right. Crying over Chipotle is crazy. Like, what? So he ends up going to another one. He like, babe, it's okay. I'm going to go to another one. He ends up going to another one. They have everything. He comes home with the Chipotle and he was like, are you okay? Like, crying over Chipotle, baby, is crazy. Like, are you sure you're okay? I'm like, yeah. I just, I don't know. I don't know why I started crying. But again, I have not been pregnant in 10 years. My son is 10. So my body is going through some of everything at this point. So I tell him, I'm like, look, when we go to the store, we got to get a pregnancy test because this is not normal. I don't just cry like that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a Virgo. I'm a sweetheart. I have a soft spot. I'm very sensitive. But crying over Chipotle, y'all, I was just not satisfied with, I was just crying over no Chipotle. So we go to the store. We get a pregnancy test. We come back to the house. And it's positive. 2 lines. When I say it's positive, y'all, I was so happy. And I wish I recorded his reaction. That is the one thing that I hate I didn't do because, y'all, his face like lit up. It was just a whole nother. I'm just like, wow, okay. And he's like, we finna have a baby. We finna have a baby. Like, he was just super ecstatic. And I'm not gonna lie, I was too. I'm like, oh my God, I'm finally finna have a baby. And knowing how my pregnancies were with my sons, with my 2 sons, I didn't have no morning sickness. I didn't have nothing. So immediately, I'm like, this got to be a little girl because it's starting already. Part 5 of Pregnant by a Man, Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's get right into it. Okay, so we done found out I'm pregnant. Both of us are super excited. We done told our families. Our families are excited. Everybody's immediately like, oh my God, I want you to have a girl, blah, 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 blah. Mind you, it's been 10 years since I had a baby. It's been 15 years since he had a baby. Things are going good. He's whining and dining me. We going out to eat. I have plenty of vlogs of us going on dates, different dates, and doing stuff while I was pregnant. I end up taking him on like an appreciation date because when I say my pregnancy was rough, y'all, my pregnancy was rough. Now, I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, it was really, really rough and it was overwhelming for the both of us. I was throwing up all the time. So anybody that doesn't know about morning sickness, we talking about all day morning sickness. I had hyperemesis, which is a really, 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 really bad case of morning sickness. I had hypersalivation. I was spitting all the time everywhere. I just stopped spitting at 7 months, literally. Just everything. I was in and out of the hospital. Every time I was at the hospital, he was right there with me. I had to get IVs. I was dehydrated a lot of times. I would throw up to the point where literally I could not take anything. I couldn't take water, like nothing. It was really, really bad. So I have to give credit where credit is due. And this is where it gets kind of crazy because, like I said, the man has literally been there from day one. From the time I found out I was pregnant up until I was 7.5 months, the man was there. I don't care if it was a doctor's appointment, he was there. They knew him by name. When he got off at 4 o'clock, I would make our appointments to be like at 4:30. So he literally wouldn't miss much. He was coming from way on the other side of town because that's where he was working at. And for those who want to start this whole, was he really at work? Yes, bitch, he got certificates and everything for the fucking job. I got him in my house. Literally, he was going to work at this point in time. So don't start that bullshit either. And for those who want to, you ain't see a sign. No, bitch, I didn't see no sign because I'm not looking for no cheating ass man. I'm not looking for no man to do me in bogus. I'm looking for the person that you're presenting to me. And if you're presenting to me that you want to be here and this is what you want, you're giving me family man, we're doing this together, then that's what the fuck the expectation is. So for all you traumatized ass bitches in my fucking comments and all you traumatized ass men that want to, oh, you should have knew. No, everybody makes mistakes. And at the end of the day, I didn't see none of this coming because I genuinely went in with a genuine heart, just like I thought he was too. So anyway, the doctors did explain to us, that they were concerned with my growth and the baby's growth because I have what you call ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative colitis is a chronic digestive disease, basically where your small intestine gets inflamed. Look it up. I'm not going to go into details. I have ulcerative colitis. Most of the time when you have this chronic disease, it is hard for your child to get the nutrients. With that being said, I had to see now another doctor, which was a high risk doctor. So not only are we going to my primary doctor, we now have to throw in another doctor that we have to go see on the regular as well. So I'm going to see my regular doctor every month. Then we're going to see the high risk doctor every month. It turned from every month to every 2 weeks. Literally, we was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So again, I'm in my content bag. He and I are doing some, side hustles on the side. We getting, just getting things together because we got this baby coming. He like, I'm really excited. I can't wait to see you interact with the baby. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, yeah, I want to see you as a daddy too. I want to see this 1 and 2 in the morning thing because he's a night owl. So I could be asleep and he'll be up playing the game or something like that. So it was going to be interesting to see because our schedules was kind of different. So B being an early bird, I'm like, okay, I probably could take the early shift with her. And then him being late, he could kind of do them late hours, the wee hours, because he's always up anyway. So then he tells me that he wants to pick up another job and that there's an opportunity to do like some security work. So him and one of his good friends, they were working together at one point. So I would, see them go to the little security gigs. They would go do security gigs at like clubs and stuff like that for a couple of hours, twos and froos here and there. And then he would come home. Literally, we would be in communication that whole time. He would text me like, hey, babe, I'm working the dough. Call me if you need me. If you need me, I'm leaving. I'm coming right home, so on and so forth. So I'm like, okay, really no big deal. And again, when a person doesn't give you a reason not to trust them, I don't do that. I'm not no nagging ass lady. I'm grown as hell. If you tell me this is what you're doing, this is what I expect. That's the same way I am. If I tell you this is what I'm doing, that's just how I am. It's a level of respect. We too fucking old to be doing the back and forth shit. I don't do that. So like I said, this pregnancy was rough. Your girl was just having a whole lot going on. So I was always tired. I would kind of cook, kind of do the housework, and then kind of be around the house. Y'all would see a couple videos here and there. If I was on a good day, you would see a lot of videos. But y'all don't even understand. I would record 5 to 10 videos on a good day so I could drop them strategically because your girl was really not feeling well. When I tell y'all I went a month and a half in the beginning of this pregnancy of no posting, I literally went a month and a half because I was that sick. So fast forward, Christmas Eve, we have our gender reveal. It was a Grinchmas theme. We found out we having a little girl. The house was super cute, super decorated. I did do content on that. Me and him got pretty much all of this stuff done. He helped me. I told him, like, I never had a gender reveal. I never had a baby shower. He was like, me neither. Because he had a baby young. I had a baby young. And then we just didn't have no more kids for a long time. So at that point, he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I'm like, you sure you're okay with the theme? He like, yeah. At first he wanted a different theme. Then we kind of went through it. And I was like, I think this will be cute because it's on Christmas Eve. So again, we going, back and forth to find decorations and do all of this stuff. And then we started to plan the baby shower because at the gender reveal, we find out we were having a little girl. So immediately my people are like, where's the baby registry? His people are like, where's the baby registry? So we getting the baby registry together. He and I are both, like sending each other stuff back and forth. I'm like, you like this? He's like, yeah. We looking at car seats. I'm amazed at how much technology has really like taken a toll since I had my kids, because this stuff, like my little daughter, she got everything. Not to say my boys didn't, but when I was having them, like all of this stuff was not available. I was like in amazement. I ain't even gonna lie. And so was he. He like bottle warmer, bottle maker. Like we both in amazement. So we're picking this stuff out. We're picking her stroller, her car seat. I'm talking about everything we are literally doing together. So now it comes to a point, I'm about, I'll say 6 months. And so he comes to me and he tells me, hey, babe, my aunt texted me and said that my grandma is not doing well. Now, I do know that his grandmother is sick. And so I'm like, okay, cool. He says, grandma not feeling well. His aunt sent him a message like, man, mama birthday coming up. I really think y'all should come down here because if something happens, all of y'all kind of living y'all lives and nobody has come to see her. Now I get it and understand, but again, at the time, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But whole time, of course, now he's saucing it to me as if it's way more than what the aunt actually said. But we'll get to that. So he's telling me, he's making it seem like, the grandmother is like really in a bad place. Like she may not make it. She may not even make it to the baby shower. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't want to travel. I voluntarily said no. It wasn't that he told me I couldn't or like, oh, we couldn't go together. It was me saying, nah, I was just a little skeptical. And I'm not big on leaving my kids. That's one thing I don't do. I don't just pick up and leave my kids. Not no impromptu trips. I don't do that. So we go ahead, we get everything together for his trip. I help him pack his stuff or whatever. He's like, oh, it's only going to be a couple days. I'm like, okay, 2-3 days is cool. I'm like, but you cannot leave until after Easter. Let's do what we were going to do for the kids and for the house. And then after Easter, you can take those couple of days and you go. Make sure you put in, for work. Now, he explains to the job like, hey, I got to go out of town for a couple of days. He's in communication with them. They like, no, it's okay. It's excused, whatever, so on and so forth. So he goes to California to go see his grandmother. But there's a twist to all of that. Part 6, pregnant by a man living a double life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. So let's get right into part 6. So he's out of town. He, seeing his grandma. I'm seeing him, with his grandma. I'm on the phone, with the both of them. And again, nothing is weird. Like he's continuing to, call me, text me. Communication is still the same. Nothing has changed because he's in California. He's checking on me on a regular. Hey, babe, you okay? How's my baby? Back and forth. I mean, we are really having for real conversation. Again, if nobody gives you a reason not to trust them, what is there not to trust? I'm talking to his grandma, we going back and forth. And so he comes home. He comes home after these couple of days. I love you. I missed you. I missed you too. We back and forth. So now life is back to regular. He done gone back to work, so on and so forth. So he comes home on maybe like a Thursday or something. And he's like, hey, I got to talk to you because some stuff is going on with my older daughter. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Me, I'm a sucker for kids. So anytime you say something going with the kids, I'm like this. What happened? What we need to do? That's where I am because I don't play about my motherfucking kids. So that's just me. So he goes into this long drawn out story in a nutshell without making this really, really drawn out. He goes into this long drawn out thing about how his oldest child's mother has this case with them folks. Y'all know the letter folks. And that, it was a possibility his daughter could be in the middle of it and she could be taken away and this and that. Now, his daughter doesn't live in Illinois. She stays in another state. I'm not going to disclose all of that. However, he goes into this thing. So he's explaining it to me. He's telling me, like, I got to go meet with these lawyers because they try and take my baby. I don't really know how to deal with this. So as he's telling me, me and my friend are looking certain stuff up, trying to help him. Like, in this state, this is the regulation. In this state, this is the regulation. So he's really feeding this to us and we're all concerned. So I'm asking him, like, is your mom going to be able to go with you? Because, again, I don't want to travel. I'm scared to travel pregnant. I ain't never traveled pregnant. And, again, I don't leave my kids just abruptly like that. And my personal opinion is if this is your child with this young lady, I don't get in the middle of that. So I was like, okay, he tells me like, yeah, my mom going to meet me down there. She's traveling from where she's coming from. His mom stays in another state as well. She's going to travel where she's traveling from. She going to meet me here. We going to travel and go together to go finish that part. And then hopefully it'll get handled. So now in the back of my head, I'm telling my friend like something's not right with this. I don't really know what. But again, when a person doesn't give you a reason not to trust them, you just kind of, So one thing I'm not is stupid, but I do hold information, until it's beneficial. So I definitely told my friend, like, I ain't feeling it. Like, 2 + 2 is not equaling 4 at this point, but I'm finna see how this shit play out. So he comes home. He telling me about all of the stuff that happens at this supposedly thing. And in the midst of this, you all, he supposedly is unable to get a flight home because of where this place is. So where he's telling me he has to go is Montana. And he's like, the place, I know in different places, the particular place that he's saying that's in Montana, or the city that's in Montana, certain flights go to. So he wasn't lying about that, because me and my friend looked it up. So he was very strategic about how he went about saying, oh, it's in this specific city, because he knows that that city only has that specific type of flight that can get there. So again, he's home, he's explaining everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, playing, like, oh, okay, cool. I'm understanding everything. Again, he's texting me while he's there, but this time when he's texting me, things are a little bit of, sketchy. They are spaced out. And so all of this is playing back in my head as he's telling me all of this stuff that has happened while he's gone to deal with this case about his daughter. So now we fast forward. He's back. Things gone back to normal. Again, he's going to this security job now. But then he then took it a step further with the security job. So he comes to me with like, if I wanted to pick up extra hours with the security job, how would you feel? And I was like, well, it depends on the hours, and it kind of depends on what that would look like, because, I don't want it to interfere with daily life. It's one thing to work. I'm not never telling no man that he can't work. I'm not never telling no man he cannot provide. But when it interferes with your household, one thing about jobs is they don't give a fuck about you. You are replaceable. So at the end of the day, when your life comes to a crash, guess what? They're going to go to the next motherfucker, because their life ain't in no crash right now. And I know that about jobs, because I've been the motherfucker on the other side. Like, well, yeah, that happened, but, the functions of the job still have to be done, pretty much, right? So y'all just keep in the back of y'all mind that he asked to pick up hours at this security job. But mind y'all, I know the security job is for parties. So it just gets a little funny. But just wait. So moving forward, April 28th, I go into preterm labor. I call my mom, like, my back is really hurting. I'm contracting, I feel like. And this is just not normal. Like, I don't feel like my regular, like, movement or little pregnancy pains. Like, this is, I ain't feeling it. So I'm like, Mom, I'm going to call him and I'm going to let him know. But I think, I'm going to just wait or whatever until he gets off. He get off in an hour because he got to go pick up Mario. My mama like, no, you're not going to wait. He could go pick up Mario and then come up to the hospital. I'm about to come get you now. Go get ready. Now, one thing for certain and two things for sure, my people don't play about me. My mama, my sister, my cousins, they don't play. My grandma, my aunties, I am very spoiled. I am the youngest granddaughter and I am super spoiled. So when I tell y'all my people don't play about me, they don't play about me. So my mom gets here. She gets, helps me get ready. I think I just needed help getting dressed. I had gotten in the shower and everything, got myself together. And so we head to the hospital. Now I get to the hospital. I'm texting him and I called him and I told him, like, I'm at the hospital. So now he leaves work. He goes to get my younger son. He flies to the hospital. Now he gets to the hospital maybe about 15 minutes after we got there. Maybe even 20. I say that, like 20 minutes. And so I'm throwing up like crazy. I could barely walk. I get up to the room. They put me right on the monitor. Boom. Who's contracting? And I'm not talking about just regular contracting. I am talking about contracting, y'all. Like, they are coming every 3 to 5 minutes. They are not slowing down. So in the midst of him picking my son up, my mom and my cousin are communicating with him, because at this point, I'm on the machines. My phone about to die. I'm like, could y'all just let him know, what's going on, but don't tell him too much, because I know how he is under pressure. Don't do that. I don't need him getting in no car accident. He picking up my baby. We got to do this strategically. Men don't always handle things the way women do. So my mama, in true mama form, kind of finessed it, told him, like, she's okay, the baby's okay, but, when we get here, we gonna leave up out the room, because, you need to go ahead and be with your lady. So he gets there, he's frustrated, he like, oh, I don't want her to come right now, like, it's too early, because it really is too early. At this point, I'm 32 weeks, and my daughter is not even 4 pounds at this point. So it is very too early. Like I said, she is developing slow, and she's not gaining as quickly as normal babies would, because I have this ulcerative colitis. And then in the beginning of my pregnancy, I wasn't able to hold anything down. So she was not eating on the regular like a typical baby.
Fast forward, the hospital that I was at is not a stage 2 hospital, which means if my daughter was to come and they had to do any type of anything on her, they would immediately have to separate us in either helipad or send her in an ambulance to a stage 3 hospital where they have a NICU and they can work on babies who are preterm. So at this point, we both scared. I'm in there kind of crying like, I don't want nothing to happen to my baby. He's trying to keep me calm, but at the same time, he's frustrated too. Like, I really don't want nothing to happen to her either. Like, if she got to stay in the NICU or got to be separated from you, I know you are not going to be good. Like, I know how this finna go with you because I just know you. And we both kind of in the same place. And I'm just kind of like, hell yeah, I'm glad you know because I'm going to send this up. And that's how I'm just feeling. But at the same time, I got to remember, I got to kind of relax and try to let this be what it's going to be and know that it's going to be okay.
Pause. Flag on the motherfucking play. Now I'm getting private calls now back to back because now someone has told you that you being talked about on TikTok. Because I only have my TikTok up. Not that now you sending text messages, cloud off your name. Cloud off your name? What name? I was going viral well before you. I have viral videos in the millions well before you. That didn't even include you. So what are we talking about? Viral off your name? Petty? How low can you go? Like, what are you talking about? Not once did you say I was lying, but you said airing your family business. What family business? I have my own rapport with your grandmother. Me and your grandma talked on our own when it had nothing to do with you. So what are you talking about? What did I say about your grandmother? What names were dropped? If you out yourself, that's you. If your side chick out herself, that's her. So what are you talking about? Cloud off your name? Come on now, dog. We ain't gonna do that one. Cloud off your name? Or are you mad because all this stuff is now coming to the light and I know a whole lot more than what you thought I knew, but because I kept it cute and kept it quiet, now it's a problem. It was okay when I was the one crying and disappointed and trying to figure out what was going on and what happened. It was okay when I was lost and depressed and all jacked up. That was fine. Because I'm the one carrying your baby. So because I needed that stress. That was okay. Now the girl ain't thinking about me. But she's so gung-ho on having a baby now. And you got an 8-month pregnant baby mama. A fresh baby finna come. Mind you, that you ain't put nothing together for. That you ain't did nothing for. Really? Mind you, everything that's been put together for my daughter, bought from my daughter, with the exception of the things that I gave him credit for in my videos, never did I not give you credit and never have I spoke down on you in none of these videos. But the truth is the truth. So again, what are we talking about? The level of low that you have gone, my boy. And I have all the receipts. What you scared of? What you talking about? So what are we talking about? Go low, get petty, let's do it. Get in the field. Get in the field. What you gonna say? What you gonna say? Because the level of low that you've gone, baby, and I have the proof and the receipts from you and her. See, what you failed to realize is you was warned with this girl. You was. It's been multiple times that my sister and my friend was on the phone with you. And this girl then jumped in using that mouthpiece. She then jumped in. See, when it was baby mama and baby daddy business, then it was cool. When she entered the chat, now the game went on 2 players. It was okay when it was her making all the sneak dissing posts and all of this. Mind y'all, my social media has been deactivated. The only thing that's been on is TikTok. And I said nothing about him or her on my story or nothing. I didn't take no shots until the shots kept coming at me. And I have multiple of them in my phone. So what are we talking about? And I quote, I don't care what nobody screenshot off my page. Y'all making y'all homegirl cry. That ain't no shot. That ain't no shot. It's all my man, my man, my man. Every conversation, every post, Everything is, oh, I got the man now. He's mine now. Woo, them ain't shots. It's okay when she doing it. But see, you thought that I was going to come with the, oh, let me bust your windows. Oh, I'm finna get up with this girl. Oh, I'm going to do that. Nah, baby. We going to turn pain into a penny. Let's get this money. So you want to do this? You started this. Remember that.
Part 7 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's get back into it. Okay, so now everything is going on at the hospital. I done been transferred to a stage 3 hospital. They're doing everything they can to stop the labor. The doctors were amazing. The whole time, you know, they making sure both of us are okay. Dad, how you feeling? Mom, how you feeling? Are we both comfortable? The whole time we're in the hospital, he's updating his mom. He's updating his family. I'm updating my family. My mama is back and forth. She with my kids. My cousins and my sister are back and forth, you know, making sure he's okay. Do you need us to bring you something? How she's doing. Everybody is kicking in to ensure that mom and dad are good. So after 3 medications, they gave my baby the steroid shot, actually 2 steroid shots for her lungs. They ended up being able to slow the labor down. However, they made it very clear, no stressing, no extra movement, no nothing, because anything can send you back into labor. Not to mention, I was 2 centimeters dilated. So he knows this. You all, he understands. He knows that I am 2 centimeters dilated. He's understanding. He's like, okay, babe, you got to really relax now. Now, I told y'all, in the last couple of months, like maybe between month 5 and month 6, that's when my energy picked up. And I'll even say month 7, my energy really picked up. So I was trying to do everything I could within the time, because I didn't have no energy for like the first 5 months. Like, this little girl had really taken everything from me. So we get home, everything is going well, everything's back to normal. Again, he's doing this security job, but it's no miscommunication. It's nothing that has me thinking like, okay, you know, maybe this is something else. However, he pulls something that I now know is like, okay, something's not right, but I can't prove it. But let me see how this play out. One thing about me as a Virgo, I'm real strategic on how I bring stuff up, because I've always been a hothead. So in this situation, even after I could, you know, see where it was something that was off in this particular place, I wasn't able to bring it to him right then and there, because I still felt like if I bring it to him and I'm wrong, then it's like I don't trust you. So let me bring it to you when I know solidly that this is what's going on. So he randomly is at work and he texts me at work and he texts me, hey, you know, she asked me to do it overnight. And in my head, I'm like, no, I don't agree with it. I don't like it. No. And so he was like, Maya, this is my job. So at this point, now I know it's some extra shit to it, because who gets that fucking mad that I said, no, I don't like the overnight shit? Like, I'm sitting here pregnant as fuck, 2 centimeters. No, hell no, I don't like it. So he's like, okay, so he comes home. Comes home after the shift. And we're talking about it, and I said, you know what? I don't like this whole, you know, this impromptu thing. Don't no job just do no shit like this. Like, you know, now I'm kind of going in, because I'm like, no job just randomly is telling you, oh, we need you to stay. That's not your responsibility. If who the fuck she don't have on that damn schedule is not there, that is not your problem. You do your 8, you do your 12, and you get the fuck on, because you got a life outside of this shit. And just like I said, a job will replace your ass in a minute. So you're not going to be busting your ass doing all this extra shit for this security job. And we not doing that. So fast forward, we going back over our goals, some things he got to handle. He was pulled over earlier in the summer and found out like his current license in the state we live in is revoked. But his license that is in the state he used to stay in is not. So he's like, okay, let me see if I can go down there, at least so I can have a valid license until I can deal with what needs to be done with it being revoked. So let's be clear. The state that he used to live in, he had a valid license. He had the photo ID of the license. He misplaced the license. I don't know if I washed it in some pans. He lost it. Whatever the case may be, he couldn't find a physical license. And we have been tearing this house up for a minute trying to find it. So we come up with a plan. We like, okay, you got to go there to go get your license. In the meantime, let's do what we have to do here so that while you go get the license there, we can also be in the process of getting the license here. So we do everything you got to do to get your license, or at least the process started to getting his license revoked. So you send off the money order, you send off the letter, you got to get a court date in order for them to unrevoke your license. So that process is done in the current state we live in. And now we have a plan on, him going to get his license. So I'm like, okay, we could take a road trip if it's on the weekend. If it's not on the weekend and the DMV down there is not open, then you need to take someone with you that has a valid license. And the only person that I trust that can be in my truck with him to go that far is his best friend. So his best friend like, man, let me see if I can get the time off because he's in school doing another trade, I guess a vocation for something else. Excuse me. So he like, let me see if I can get the time off. If I can get the time off, I'll ride with you. He was like, but we got to be back that same day. He was like, yeah, I'm trying to do an in and out. I'm just trying to go down there, get my license and come on back. So, I don't have no issues. Cool. In the midst of all of this going on, my older sister's biological father passes. My god sister's father is in the hospital. So the two people that I would usually depend on while, he's gone, even if it's at work, they kind of help out here and there, they're not going to be available. Not to mention my favorite cousin, she doesn't have a car. My two best friends, they stay out of state, so they were not coming until the baby is born. And my mom has a second job that's in Michigan at our family camp. We own a family camp and my mom works up there. So on most weekends, that's where my mom goes. So she wasn't going to be available either. Now here it is, Thursday night. My cousin had came over and she was there with me. So at this point, I'm like, okay, we're going to take her home. She stays on the south side. So we had to make sure she gets home. So I see that he's really, really tired. And when I say really, really tired, y'all, like he's sleep. Like he came in from work, didn't even really want to eat, but he kept telling me like my back is hurting. Now, mind you, he had been telling me his back was hurting but before, and I do know that he has had back issues because again, this man is sleeping with me every night. So again, I know that he's not lying about that, and I would give him like a Bayer or a Tylenol, but evidently those were not working. So I tell him like, babe, I'll drive. Just ride with me. If you want to sleep, you can sleep, but I'll drive, because you seem tired. He's like, nah, babe, you pregnant. I don't want you doing all of that, so on and so forth. So me and my cousin, we get in the car. Cool. He wakes up. We make it there safely. He's good. We drop her off. We're getting ready to come back home. Who the fuck falls asleep at the wheel? So immediately I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I wake him up. I'm like, no, pull over now. Get the fuck out the driver's seat. Like, now I'm mad because I'm sitting here pregnant. You falling asleep. You're not even thinking about none of us. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? Like, get up. So I drive us home. We get home. He goes to sleep. We talk about it in the morning. He's like, babe, I'm so sorry. I did not realize I was that tired. So on and so forth. But in my head, I'm like, I don't know. That's tired, but that's something else to being tired. But again, I don't have no proof. What I'm going to say? Yeah, you just tired? Yeah, nah, that ain't sitting well with me. Now, I've known people to abuse drugs. I've known people to do them, for their own particular reasons. But never in a million years am I thinking that that's what he's doing at this point in time. So when he's telling me, on his way home, we are communicating. He's like, hey, I'm stopping to grab this from this person. I'm not disclosing who it is and I'm not disclosing what it is, but just know it is not a normal drug. I'm like, okay, but again, make it make sense. And he's only coming with one, like I'm only seeing one. So I'm thinking, okay, he's taking this when he get home, pain medicine, so on and so forth. Boy, was I wrong. Part 8 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's get right back into it. Okay, so now my wheels are turning. Y'all know I'm on I'm on alert because nothing is making sense. Stuff is starting to give me just real no. So I'm holding all of this. So the next day we get up, he's talking to me. He's like, babe, I'm sorry. I did not mean to fall asleep. I was just really, really tired, so on and so forth. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm telling him, how I didn't feel safe and, I'm not cool with that. And we kind of really he notices that I'm really not messing with him at this point. So he's like, okay, babe, what could I do? I'm sorry, and I'm just like, it's nothing that you could do at this point. It's just something I got to get over. But you, that was a clear sign, you was not thinking about me or your daughter, and I ain't feeling it. So, we, trying to work out a plan for how he could go get his ID. We still trying to make sure that goes in order. But again, I'm just at a place with him right now. So, his mom calls and is like, when are you supposed to get on the road? So he tells her, the next morning, so on and so forth. Well, later on that night, early morning, so on and so forth. She was like, well, I'm glad you didn't leave yet because that DMV is not open on Fridays. So you wouldn't be able to go do it anyway. Now, in the midst of that, me and him have had a slight back and forth about that because I tell him you know what? I'm really not comfortable with you leaving. And then I just kind of don't have a way to get around on Friday. And I want to be able to be there for my sister. I just really ain't feeling how that's going to go. So it was slight. It wasn't like we was going at each other next, but it was definitely slight. And he wasn't understanding where I was coming from right then and there until I guess something went off. And his mom was like, well, you couldn't come anyway, so it would have been a waste of trip. However, even in that slight argument, something was not right. Now, mind you, I told y'all, he's been taking these pain pills for his back. But these, they got him doing some other stuff. This is not him. So fast forward to Friday, I go help my friend before I go to my sister's father's memorial. So I go help my friend in the morning to get an audit done for her program. And then, I go grab me something to eat. And then I was going to come home and check on him before I went ahead to go to the memorial. So that's my plan. I'm getting ready for the day. I'm kind of not fazed by nothing because at this point, I'm with the whole falling asleep thing, then the whole us having that little altercation. I really wasn't feeling that. And I'm feeling like something is wrong with you, but you're not telling me, and I don't really know what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but I know in the midst of something's not right. So I'm downstairs. I got my plan. I'm getting myself together in my closet. I'm like, okay, doing my makeup, getting dressed, and he comes downstairs to talk to me. He's like, hey, my mom's making me feel bad, because I'm still not coming. My brother's graduating, and then she's about to have surgery, and she don't have no help. Her husband has a job in another state, and she asked if I could still come down there and help. So now I'm irritated. So at this point, I immediately was like, what? His mom's not having heart surgery. She's not having no cardiac arrest, no stroke, no heart attack, no cancer, no nothing. She's having surgery on her arm. And this man asked me if I was okay with him taking my truck to drive to another state, leave me pregnant here with no way to get around, my 2 children, to go help your mom because she has arm surgery. So you want me to give you up, my child's father and boyfriend, who we are currently pregnant with a baby, to go help your mom with your 2 older brothers? And when I say older, they're not older than him, but they're old enough where they can get in Ubers, Lyfts, and all of this. They're old enough. Immediately, I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I'm not okay with that. No. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Your mom called me. He was like, you should just call her back. I don't really know what's going on, but she's crying, saying she don't have no help, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he is really selling it like she needs all of this help for arm surgery. This is what he's telling me. So I went ahead and ordered my food. And as I'm ordering my food and waiting, I return her call. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? She's like, hey, I know you got everything going on with the baby, but I was wondering if you could let him come down here because I need some help. My one son is graduating and he needs to do this. And my other son, he has Battle of the Bands. So I go home, I check on him. I'm like, hey, how you feeling? So on and so forth. He doesn't work on Fridays. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to head over to the memorial. The memorial wasn't far from my house. And I'm not going to not be here for my sister because you and your mama got whatever y'all got going on. That don't really have nothing to do with me. And at the end of the day, it really don't have nothing to do with you because your mother is an adult. Your mother has a husband. When you have a husband, that is your husband's job to put aside whatever he had going on to ensure that you were aided and assisted. So I explained to him, I said, I am not comfortable with that. And the fact that either of y'all are okay with this is really mind-boggling and it's bothering me. Nobody is thinking about me or my child at this point, and I ain't feeling like none of this. So he's telling me he understands. So I leave out. I go to the memorial with my sister. We're all there. She's going through whatever she's going through. We're there. I go to the repast, so on and so forth. So I go home and I pick up my youngest son. And he's still on this same, like, I want to go down there to my mom thing. And now I'm at a place of like, okay, this is deeper than this. Something not right. Because you're pushing this issue way too much. And I'm not feeling why you pushing this issue when me and this little girl are fucking here. You feel me?
So these are the text messages between he and I. Now, the whole time he's texting me while I'm at my sister's memorial is very, very selfish. It's very, very self-centered about him and his mom. It has nothing to do with the memorial, not how you feeling, not how they feeling, how's my sister, like nothing. It's simply just about him and his mom. And that is really tripping me out. Like, I really don't understand this. And I have no reason to lie on nobody. I have the voicemail still in my damn phone. Like, we can go there and I can definitely drop it for y'all. Because the amount of inconsideracy and the amount of just, I don't even know the word, that it came with this is now really starting to take me to a whole nother place. And then again, you're asking me to basically inconvenience myself, my kids, and put us basically to the back burner. What?
So at this point, I'm irritated. I'm like, like you're not making sense. So at this point, me and him are going at it. When I say y'all, we are going at it. Mind y'all, I am 7 months pregnant. I'd have been in preterm labor. I'm 2 centimeters dilated. And this is a lot of stress now at this point. Because you are making such a big deal to go down here. And I'm not understanding. Like, your mom is not dying. I'm not never telling you to choose me over your mom. But you as a man, you have a household. We are here. We are one. We have this baby together. And why is that more important? I'm really not understanding. So fast forward, you all, I'm now starting to see a whole nother side of him. When I say a whole nother side, a whole nother side. Whatever it is that he was taking for that back is kicking in. His eyes are bulging, like he's just really in this place. And I mean, he's going up and down. He's yelling, then he's calm. Then he's yelling, then he's calm. He's like, baby, I love you. It's just for a couple of days. Then it turns into, you want me to say fuck my mama? You telling me to say fuck my mama? Like, the man is going crazy, y'all. And I'm just sitting here looking like, what the hell is going on? And now I'm crying. I'm all emotional. It is just really a whole lot going on. Mind you, I just left my sister's dad's memorial and I picked up my younger son. So all of this is going on and my younger son is seeing this. Part 9 of Pregnant by a Man, Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's keep it going. So at this point, I'm not understanding what he's talking about. I'm crying. I'm all emotional. I'm like, this is so frustrating. This is so stressful. Like, why are you doing this? I don't understand. And all he keeps hollering is that I need to go to my mom. I need to go to my mom. Like, you don't understand. This is my mom. This is my mom. And in my head, I'm like, I understand this is your mom. But again, this is me and your daughter. Like, This is not making sense to me. Nothing is making sense. So we're yelling, going back and forth. It's just super chaotic. My cousin is like, cousin, please calm down. What about the baby? And in this moment, I let this man get under my skin so bad because I'm trying to understand where he's coming from, but it's just not making sense to me. And so I'm like, okay, this is too much for me. This is too much for my son. Myself, I went to go drop my son off because it had just become way too much. It did. I called my grandma like, hey, Mario's godmom and god sister is going to come pick him up today anyway. So can he just come over there? Well, I just need to process. I'm overwhelmed. I got a lot going on and I just don't want him to see me crying and all upset like this. So I did pull over and I had to give my baby a hug. Because I felt like, damn, I didn't want him to be going through that. So my son is dropped off. I come back home. My cousin, she has something to do. So I come back home. He's texting me like, hey, can I talk, whatever. And so he comes back to the house so we could talk. At this point, he seems to be calmer, but y'all, he is not calmer. He's still way up there with Jesus. And when I say way up there, way up here, that shit had him in a place. So I'm looking at him, his eyes is bulging. I'm like, this is not the man that, I met. So now I have a full circle deja vu moment. We sat in the bed one day and a part of our generation, I know our generation uses, stuff to cope so much. And it's kind of normalized in our culture, in our generation period. So he and I were talking way back when, maybe months and months and months ago. And one of the things he told me was, babe, I never want you to see me off perks because I am not myself. Like, I really don't want you to ever see me off of that. And y'all, when I say everything he said he does, this was like a totally different thing. So when I'm asking him that at the time when he said it, and he said that, I'm like, wait, what? And he was like, no, I don't do them now. He was like, this was way back when. This was years and years and years ago, which did my little research. And he is right. It was years ago. He didn't lie about it. I appreciate you for being forthcoming. But now all of that is playing in my head like, so you back addicted? Like you back got a hold on this? Like what's going on? So again, I'm like, okay, so we're talking and y'all, he on the same thing. I need to get down there to see my mama. So now this man brings up a rental car. That's one thing. You driving with a licensed driver. It's insurance on my truck. And they pull y'all over and you just like, man, I'm en route to go get my physical license. Here's my picture. That's one thing. The car is registered to me. That's one phone call. The insurance got my name on it. You good to go. A rental car? Have you lost your mind? No. The answer is no. So now he really on one. I didn't tell him no about my car and I didn't tell him no about a rental. So now, baby, I am the worst person in the world at this point. He up here, he ain't heard nothing but no. So, baby, it goes up again. When I say he's going off, y'all, he's going off. I mean, arguing and fussing and arguing and going off and all of this other stuff. And I'm just like, what the heck is really going on? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing here? And so at this point now, my wheels are turning. I'm like, it's something else to this. It is something else to this. So I know this probably was not the right time to say it, but at this point, I got to go ahead and say it. Are you cheating on me? Like, is this somebody down here? Is this somebody going with you? Like, why is this such a big thing? Have you promised somebody that this is what you finna do? Because you are too adamant about going down here for an arm surgery and leaving me and your daughter. This is just not making sense to me at all. So, y'all, I done walked away from him completely. I just went downstairs in my closet and I'm just bawling. I am distraught. I am just in a place of like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this is happening to me right now. And I am just in a place of like, this cannot be real. Like, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. So I go get my son's bag ready for his stuff because I got to go drop it off to my grandmother. And so I'm telling him, like, I'm just finna go drop this stuff off. So he was like, just take me to the rental place. Just take me to the rental place. Take me to the airport. So I'm like, okay, I'll take you, but I'm not renting you a car. And he's like, why? You know it's nobody else. No, I'm not renting you a car. So now he's calling around to other people. He's snapping on them. I need to get to my mama. I need to get to my mama. At this point, everybody knows something is not right. Because what? Like everybody, he's calling everybody trying to get them to get him a rental, and nobody is able to help him. And nobody's willing to help him because, again, what you're saying is not making sense. Your pregnant baby mama and girlfriend and daughter are here. We don't get it. Nobody is understanding. So I get in the car to drop my son's bag off. And at this point, I just want to be alone. Like, I'll take you, but I just need to ride there. I need some space. I need to think. The man gets in my car, y'all, and tell me he not getting out. I'm like, get out my car. I want to drive by myself. I just need some time. I'm not getting out. Either give me your car or go give me a rental, but I'm not getting out. And I'm looking at him like, what is wrong with you? And now it's really kicking in that this shit is far beyond me. I'm like, do you know who you talking to? Like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong with you? And so then I think he kind of like snapped out of it a little bit and was like, oh, I'm sorry, babe. Because he kept going into those little spurts too. Like, babe, I'm not trying to make you cry. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not trying to do this. But then he's steady going off, y'all. He's going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Like, the man is in a very manic place. And I am in awe. Like, I am emotionally. Y'all, I'm 7 months. I'm already hormonal. Everything is already, like, emotional for me. You know, I'm concerned with my daughter. And now this. This is just, it's crazy to me. And this her daddy. Like her dad, like I am starting to believe like, what, like her dad is like this whole other person. Like it's crazy. So I go ahead, I just take my baby his bag and I'm like, let me just get this man to this airport, and whatever he do after that, that's just kind of what he do. Cause I'm just in a place like, you don't care about me. You don't care about what's going on. Now in the midst of all of this, y'all, I'm contracting. My back is killing me. And I am one of those women who go into back labor first. Like, I labor in my back a lot. So I tell him, like, my back is hurting. Like, my back is killing me. This is how it was feeling before. He told me, you being dramatic. So now I know for a fact, like, he off something. Like, this is well beyond. And what I do know is that there's somebody else involved triggering and helping him feed this, because you too invested on trying to get him. So now in my head, the spidey senses that I have as a woman, you didn't promise somebody that you was either coming down there or gonna take them there or wherever y'all thought y'all was gonna go, and that shit ain't happening in my truck, and damn sure ain't in my name. So we riding to the airport. I get him to the airport. He like, you really not gonna give me a rental? No. You really not going to give me a rental? No. So he did that for about 15 minutes. So then he calls his brother. His brother comes to pick him up from the airport and take him God knows where. I don't know. But at that point, it wasn't even no concern for me. I just got up and I left. Because at this point, you have emotionally just put me through way too much. And I can't even process all this shit right now. I just need to go lay down and figure this out because my back is killing me at this point. Part 10 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's keep it going. So I'm crying on the way home. I'm emotional. I don't understand what's going on. My back is killing me. I'm contracting like crazy. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is too much for me. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. So I go ahead and I'll just say, you know what? I need to take my butt to the hospital. So at this point, I'm one of those people when I get too emotional and I get too overwhelmed, I like to do stuff by myself. I know that's probably not the best thing, especially pregnant. But at this point, I was just like, this is way too much. I don't even know how to begin to explain this to anybody. Because if you didn't see it, I almost wish I had cameras in my house and following me. This would have been one day I really would have wanted to be famous, because this shit, I had never seen no shit like this in my life. I was just like, what the hell is going on? So I make it home. At the time, I had on like this one piece. And y'all know one pieces be tight. Everything is tight. My back is killing me. I'm emotional. So I changed it to a t-shirt and some jogging pants. I packed me a little bag, grabbed one of my little MCM purses and threw like some deodorant, toothbrush, you know, your little essentials in there, threw my little stuff in there, threw me a little extra change of clothes, and then everything that was in my purse, I just tossed that motherfuckers in there. Because at that point, I'm just like, I need to get to the hospital. I don't feel well. This ain't right. And I know I'm contracting. So I go ahead and I drive myself to the hospital. Driving myself to the hospital, y'all. Contracting. It was terrible. It was like a 15 to 20 minute ride. At this point, I don't know where he is. And I don't even want to tell him that this is what's going on, because I don't even know which way this going to go with him. Like, I don't know if this going to send him into an uproar or what. So I'm just like, no. So I ended up calling my mom, and she stayed on the phone with me the whole time. But mind you, my mom is in Michigan, y'all. So now she's on the phone with me, but she's now like, do I need to leave? And I'm trying to tell her, like, Ma, in triage, before they like really put you in a room and let you know what they're going to do, let's see what they're going to say. Because if they're not going to keep me, you know, I don't want you to just rush and come out here. You know, I should at least be okay for that. But my mama is really not having it. She still left. So her and my bonus dad are on the phone with me. They stayed up. I'm talking about the whole drive. When I got to the hospital, she like, keep your AirPods in. Don't you hang up. My mom is not that mom. Like, when I say when she's invested and she's just like in a place of, I don't know what to do. And let me just say this early disclaimer. Me and my brother are my mom's only two kids. My brother died in a very tragic accident. So everything that now happens with me and my kids, my mom becomes super, super, super protective. But as a mom, I do understand where she was coming from. And when I say my mama was not playing, y'all, she wasn't playing no games. So I get to the hospital, you know, I'm crying, I'm all emotional, I'm there, you know, again, all of this stuff didn't just happen to me, and I'm in labor. Y'all, it was crazy. Get in the hospital. The lady is like, you know, do you think you having a baby? She said, do you feel like you need to push? Did your water bag broke, you know? And I'm like, no, my water bag didn't break. My mucus plug didn't fall out, but I'm definitely contracting. I've been in preterm labor before, you know, so I know how this feels. Like, this is not right. They immediately rushed me to the back, you know, so on and so forth. So I'm like, okay, how can I let him know what's going on without letting him know what's going on? So at this point, I'm like, let me focus on me, let them get me comfortable, and then I'll focus on, you know, letting the people that need to know. But at this point, I didn't even want to be bothered with nobody. I was just talking to my mom, and I felt like that shit was enough. So they got me to OB triage. The nurse was really, really nice. She was just like, what's wrong? And I was just kind of basically telling her, like, girl, it's just too much. Just emotions. And she was like, well, I need you to try your best to calm down. I don't know what's going on, you know, and I don't want to intrude, but I do want you to calm down. They get me on the machine. Sure enough, who's contracting again every 3 to 5 minutes. And I mean, they are coming, y'all. They are coming. Now, at this point, I'm like maybe 34 weeks. So again, we ain't as bad as the 32, but we're still very early. And again, my daughter is not that big. So they went ahead, did an ultrasound, and she's now 4 pounds, 8 ounces. Not your ideal baby weight, but again, it is bigger than where she was the first time. And so they're like, okay, you know, if she does come, she will have to stay in the NICU, but it won't be that bad. She wouldn't be fighting as hard as she would have been fighting the first time. So that did give me a little bit of security. But again, I'm just like, I shouldn't even be here. Like, all of this stress, all of this nonsense then sent me in here. And I know that's what sent me in here. But again, I'm just like, wow, this is so crazy. Like, I don't even understand which way to go with this right now. Let me just try to just calm down. So they get me up there. I'm on the machines. I'm on the monitor. They done gave me an IV. They done gave me some medicine to start trying to stop her. And she's not trying to stop, y'all. So she's not trying to stop. And now I'm really emotional. I'm here by myself. You know, I done argued with her dad damn near all day. And then, you know, nobody's here, you know, so I text my sister. Of course, she's grieving. So I kind of knew that was what was going to happen. I text my cousin. She was out. She did come up to the hospital. But again, she got her guy with her. So, you know, I really ain't trying to be bothered with like all of that. And I'm not trying to intrude on them either because they got a life. You know, I'm not their responsibility, essentially. And then, of course, my god sister, she's dealing with stuff with her own dad. So nobody responded for real but my cousin. She did come up there for a few minutes, but they end up falling asleep in the waiting room. So at this point, I am feeling super, super alone. So I did my due diligence. Once they got me on the machines, I had taken a nap a little bit, kind of tried to like sleep some of this off, but I always let her godmother know, and he typically always lets her godfather know. So I reached out to her godmother and told her, because I knew eventually once she got up, she would see it. And then I reached out to her godfather, and I just told him, like, I'm not really in the talking place with her dad, but I just wanted to let you know this is what's going on. And at the time, they had started to see some things developmentally that they weren't in particularly okay with. But again, they were trying to like keep me calm. So the first thing was stopping the labor. So they did explain to me that my baby does have an arrhythmia, which is an irregular heartbeat. So her heart will beat boop, 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 stop, boop, 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 stop, boop, boop, boop. And I could be being dramatic on how the stops go, but she has an arrhythmia. So that's one thing. They're concerned with her breathing. The other thing was they told me that they saw something with her kidneys, but they weren't able to really tell me exactly in detail what it was. But I had a doctor's appointment coming up that week. So I knew eventually I was going to get all of that solved and figured out. So fast forward, I'm let out the hospital. I updated those who needed to be updated. Not sure who told him how he figured out. Don't really care. I end up getting a call from a random number because he's blocked. I had blocked him from my phone. I was just like, this was too much. He calls from a random number like, so, hey, I heard you was in the hospital. I immediately clicked. I'm like, excuse me, number one, your approach was just completely just, And then what do you mean you heard I was in the hospital? Not, are you home? Where are you at? Is my baby okay? Are you okay? Can I come see y'all? None of that. He still sounds very much up there with Jesus, y'all. He is not still himself. And you can hear it on the phone. He's slurring his words like he has nothing. It's just there. So I'm sitting there and I'm just contemplating. I'm like, I'm at home and I'm just crying. I'm just super, super just distraught. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, what would make him start back using this? What would make him, go into this? Like, it was so many questions. But again, I'm 7 months pregnant. So I'm trying to figure all this out and figure my emotions out. And then I still have 2 kids. So I'm like, I got to make sure my boys are okay. At the same time, I got to make sure I'm okay. So my mom is finally here, baby. She got there. And the minute I got home, she was meeting me at my house. My mama was not playing.